Hey everybody, it's Lou Santiago, host of Carfix on Velocity and Garage Insider TV, my own gig.
I'm Lewis from All Ins Magazine, and we are here at Playing in Traffic, and we are taking over the world with this automotive stuff.
Damn right.
So if anybody wants to jump in and ask Lou some questions, or you want to show off some of your cars, or any of the above, we're just normal guys talking about car stuff.
That's it. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Somebody got to do it.
So is Lou Jr. coming on? Do we know?
Yeah, he's supposed to. He's on vacation, so who knows what this dude's doing.
He's on vacation? Oh, yeah, God.
He's down there rubbing elbows with rich folks.
He ain't doing nothing.
No, he said he's coming on, so he should be here.
Cool.
Yep. Who we have in the chat room? Let's see. Okay, we got Mark. Anybody have any questions?
Come on, we got 2 seats open.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Oh, Delroy. And William T. Jones.
Hey.
There's Elroy.
Hey, guys, what are you doing?
Doing lollygagging. I'm down in Tampa doing the show.
Hey, I won't be on long. I want to watch. I enjoy watching it. I've got a kick out of it. Yeah, I know. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, I got mufflers, Elroy.
Huh?
Man, I got the mufflers.
You're the man. See?
I'm gonna use them on my S10. I got an S10 with a 4.3. It's the one I'm putting together. Like I drove it down to Tampa. I just got my bell housing so I can do the 5-speed conversion in it. And then I'll be ready to rock.
Awesome. Does Lee need anything? Is he ready to play too?
I don't know. Ask him. Right there.
I'm working on it. Lou has me fiending for a truck, so as soon as I get a truck, I'll be getting in touch with you.
All right, man.
I need to get one out of Lou's yard. I know he has one. He's just holding on to it.
I got about 10 of them.
See what I mean?
Hey, does somebody else need to get on real quick? I just wanted to say hi.
Okay, appreciate you coming on, and go ahead and announce yourself before you get off and tell us
who you are, what you do.
My name's Elroy Newberry, and we have a product called Coffin Muffler. We're in California, good old Visalia. Just a bunch of poor boys out here having a lot of fun.
Trying to make it happen.
All right. What's your website?
Newberry's Muffler. You had to throw that one to me. It's thecoffinmuffler.com. I was giving you my private one, man. Don't get old, dude. This sucks.
Yeah, right.
Newberry Muffler, coffinmufflers.com.
There you go. Just coffinmuffler.com, you guys.
Okay, Coffin Muffler. Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys right now, whoever's listening, Elroy's got some cool mufflers, man. They are good. And they sound good. So that's the deal. And they're made in the US of A.
Now, pretty soon, I'm going to have my 33 back on the street.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, yeah. We got a blown motor in it, 671 blower, 355 motor, 2.4s. It runs. It's fun.
Yeah. Let us know when you get it together. We'll get some pictures on here for you.
All right, dude. Well, I have it on YouTube. Just type in 33 Ford with coffins. We're out here doing smoke runs in front of the shop.
Yeah.
The local police love us, man, especially when there's a highway patrol going down the freeways. You're smoking past him.
God.
Crazy crap. All right, you guys. Hey, let somebody else on. You guys have a good night. I'm going to watch.
All right, thanks.
All right, Elroy, later.
Hi, you guys. See you, Lee.
Talk to you later. Thanks. Okay, let's see.
How do I get off?
Hit that little X on the top right corner of your picture.
There you go.
All right. Who else is in there that wants to jump in? We got 12 people in the room.
Yeah, but no one wants to jump in. What's going on?
Yeah. If anybody just jumped in, we are playing in traffic. And we do this every Wednesday night at 9:00, as you see. And we lost Lou. So if you have any questions, just jump in and ask some questions, or you can type it in the chat room and we'll try to answer much as possible. All right. Make Lou a host. So, Lou, tell us what your first day of filming.
Well, we started shooting season 5 today, and we have a 01 966 Porsche. 966? Yeah, I think it's a 966. Twin turbo, all-wheel drive. It's a serious rig. It's really nice. And we brought that in, and we have a 79 933, which is turboed. Now, they started turboing Porsches in 75, I believe it was. And this one's got a turbo that somebody put on because it had a precision turbo on it. Mm-hmm. So we turned around and put a Magnum.
Uh-oh. Lou must have got a phone call. He'll be back in a minute, folks. So anybody want to jump in for when Lou gets back? Here's Ray.
Hey, Lou, how you doing? Everything froze. What's going on? I'm moving, but you guys froze. Boy, now everybody's disappearing. What's going on here? I can't be the only one on this channel. Come on. Just me and my iced coffee?
All right, there we go.
Hey, Louis, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing today?
Good to see you tonight.
We lost Lou.
Talking about. I just came in late. I was heating my back with the heating pad, trying to loosen it up a little bit.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Lou was just telling us about his first day at filming. He's filming the show down in Tampa.
And this is the first week of school too, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah. And he's missing it because he's in Tampa.
Oh, really? He went to do the filming instead of the school.
Yeah. No, actually, I think he starts next week in school. I think yesterday he had a meeting, and I think next week he starts.
Yeah, there's usually some prep involved. You want to talk about the classes, see what the curriculum, things we talked about in the past.
Right.
But that's cool. How's the weather up by you guys up in Ohio?
It hasn't snowed yet, but it's cold. It's like at nighttime it's dropping down to 8-9 degrees.
Yeah, we finally hit a cold snap here too. It's finally winter on Long Island. 13 degrees going to work in the morning. Boom.
Yeah, pretty much sucks.
Yeah, we're not playing outside anymore, that's for sure. Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. So listen, we did our first national radio show this past week.
Okay.
That was a deal we've been working on, and there was some little bit of glitches with the hardware. We only had headsets with mics, and only one of them would work, so we had to share a microphone, which is tough because it's off the side of the headset.
Right.
I think with all sorts of things like that, with most things, there's little mechanical glitches, there's software glitches. So we'll give it a shot. We'll do it again on Sunday, and we'll see how far it takes us.
Well, tell everybody in the chat room what you do and your radio show.
Yeah, it's you can't really see it behind me. Motormouth Radio. It's a radio show we do here on Long Island. Motormouthradio.com is our website. Everything you need to know about us is on there. There's Lou. There's the man. Hey, brother, how are you?
What's up, guys?
You got a phone call, huh?
No, it said I got a phone call and I rejected it, and then it said Chrome stopped working.
Oh yeah.
So it kicked me off. I don't know if that was because of the phone call or if that was because it stopped working.
Yeah, wow. I think it was a phone call. Got you.
It might have kicked me off. I got you.
So Ray was just telling us that first day of taping or his radio show. So go ahead, Ray.
Oh, that's right.
Did the first national show, And I was telling Lewis we had couple little hardware glitches. We're going to try and work them out. You know, I'm sure like with filming, Lou, I'm sure you guys always have little things that go wrong.
Yeah. All right. None.
No. I want to work with you.
Right.
Because it was kind of weird, but we made it work. We're going to do it again on next Sunday. We're doing it out of the Autozeum. It's a teaching museum, autozeum.org if you guys want to check it out. It's up in Garden City. And then the cool thing is Mike Manning, the guy who's the proprietor, asked me, hey, would you hang out after the show next Sunday? Instead of going to McDonald's for breakfast, he's got a whole slew of Boy Scout. 2 Boy Scout troops coming in, and they're going to do a workshop for building Pinewood Derby cars.
Awesome.
He asked if I would help, and I said, "Yeah, you know, when my nephew was up here, now he's down in South Carolina. I built like 5 or 6 of those things with him. So I said, I don't know if these kids are going to be up to my level though, because I'm, not that I'm a great
such a phenomenal builder.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, it was like you put the axles in a drill, you hone them down, you just all the stupid little tricks you do to try and get little, a couple. So yeah, we'll be building Pinewood Derby cars on Sunday, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, working with kids is cool.
Yeah.
Now
so you do the show once a week now?
What, the new show?
Kids show once a week?
The new show we do once a week on Sunday. Yeah. And then we do our regular show on Sunday at noon. So we do 2 shows on Sunday. Yeah.
Oh.
And then we do our show on Thursday as well. We have a show coming up tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you know him. If you ever met him, Dennis Pitzenbarger, he was doing that show Highway to Sell.
Yep.
We have him on as a guest tomorrow. He's going to come back and talk with us tomorrow. He was on a while ago, and he's a character, man. It's you kind of like hand him the show, and he takes over.
Yeah.
You look tired, Lou.
Oh, I am, but it's no big deal.
So you drove down there last night and got there today, Lou?
It's a 10-hour drive. I got in at 10:30 last night.
Okay.
That's fine. And the remember when Doc was on last week? He was talking about a shop that was on a TV show and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The shop from Highway to Sell is the shop that was that one that he was talking about.
Oh, no fooling.
I read the article, the newspaper article on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you put it out there.
I didn't say the name of the shop. I just said it was the one from Highway to Sell. I didn't.
Right.
Well, I used 4 different shops. I don't know.
Yeah.
It said in the newspaper article that they were on a TV show, Highway to Sell.
They had an episode last season.
Not true.
Yeah, It was pouring rain. They pulled this car in. They had it on the lift, and you heard this crack and kaboom. And Dennis turned like, what the hell's going on? And his partner, Slick, was just like, yeah, no big deal. The lightning struck like right outside the door,
Uh-huh.
And they told the guys working, laughed and said, listen, dude, he says, if you're not used to that, you're not used to Florida. And I was with him. I'd be running, getting my ass out of there.
Jeez.
It does that in Florida every day, like for an hour, and then it's like clears up and like it's never ever even thought about raining.
Yeah.
It's like all of them say down here, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, can you break any secrets about what this season's going to hold on the show?
I don't even. I know. I can tell you, we're redoing the turbo on a 78 933.
Okay.
And we're redoing the turbo on it. New turbo from Magnum Performance Turbo.
Right.
Nice piece. And Jared built headers for it. He had them built before I got down there.
Nice.
So the headers are built. So we got that. He's plumbing the wastegate tomorrow. And we put new injectors in today. Me and Mikey, the guy that helps us. We put in new injectors today. Plugged a new ECM back in. Was one other thing we did. I can't remember what the other thing was. We did that. And then tomorrow we'll button it up. And then after we button it up, we will start the second show, which is an 82 Chevy short bed truck on 40s. Take the 700 R4 out. Put in a turbo 400 and an NP 205 transfer. There he is.
What up?
How's it going, folks? Can you hear me?
Hey, Lewis, how are you?
Sir.
What's the deal with like the lack of lighting in there? What's going on? Are you being all stealthy on us? What's going on?
I'm outside. I'm outside fishing. I'm shark fishing.
What?
He's taking advantage of all the vacation time. He's fishing and
Yeah, no kidding.
I caught like what would you say, 8 pound, about an 8 pound catfish. We chopped it up in half and threw it back out here in the Gulf.
What do you hate, catfish?
No, hey, we're trying to catch a shark out here. I felt a bite.
Sharks, you plan on eating them.
I felt a bite and it took my line 180 yards and snapped it.
Wow.
So we don't know what it was.
it was a turtle.
Yeah, probably. But Lou, it looks like you're in a hotel room. Are you in Tampa?
Yes, I am. Here.
Nice. About to get to work, huh? You're about to get to work.
Tree.
He started today.
No more Christmas tree.
No more. Not this week.
We took ours down. It's done.
Ours is gone too.
Yeah,
Ours is gone.
We didn't even put one up this year.
I don't blame you.
We had consensus with the kids, and they were like, we don't care. So, hey.
Really?
Awesome.
Okay.
So, Lewis, what part of Florida are you in? I probably should know that.
Right now, we're in Marco Island, and it's like it's Southwest Florida, and it's like directly on the same latitude of Miami, but on the west side of Florida.
All the way down.
Yeah, right above or right below Naples.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we're going to be heading to Fort Myers tonight because that's where my buddy goes to school at. So we're going to be staying at Florida Gulf Coast University for the next couple of days, hanging out.
You gonna jump over to see Lou in Tampa?
I don't know if we can swing it. I don't know, with his schedule and everything, I don't know if we can make the day trip up there. But we'll see. I'll try to convince him.
Yeah.
Tell him there's a whole bunch of girls there.
Yeah.
Groupies.
He'll be right there.
Lou has a whole trailer full of groupies just waiting for you guys.
That's hilarious. So Lou, what are you excited about the most going into this season? Season 5, right?
Yeah, season 5. Nothing really. I mean,
that's a veteran for you.
Nothing really. I'm actually more surprised about. I'm more. I want to do the teaching thing. I went yesterday because all the teachers had to report. So went and here. Monday.
That's incredible.
Monday. And we actually start class on the 11th next week. So, and it's a high school class that's from. It's only 2 hours. It's 1:30 to 2:30 or 1:30 to 2:30 or something like that. It's a weird time, but we'll do that. And I told them that what my idea was for doing the suspension work, and they said okay. So Monday I'm gonna get the S10s over there and get ready to build me some front ends.
Nice. Hey, Raymond said in the chat room that the motorcycle company down in Marco Island. Lewis, did you see it in chat?
Vanquish V8 motorcycles. Have you heard of that, Ryan? Vanquish V8 motorcycles. I guess are made here in Marco Island. Never heard of it? Yeah, we're not familiar with it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised though.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be around a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you guys can see. don't know if you can see the house.
I see lights.
You see lights and water.
Yeah, there's right now I'm pointing at probably 2 $5 million houses.
Oh yeah.
Maybe more. Marco Island is filled with a bunch of wealthy people. Not a lot of brown people, but a lot of wealthy people.
And they're cool with having sharks outside their back door, huh?
I guess so.
Wow. Wow. So two of us are stuck in the cold and two of you are down in a nice warm weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We're
nice.
up here in the cold.
Yeah.
Raymond says he used to work at a Costco not far from there.
Costco.
Yeah, it's like a Sam's Club, like our Sam's Club.
Yeah. I've only heard good things about Costco. How was your experience there, biker dude?
Yeah. Yeah, we have one up here in Garden City, but man, is it tough to get in. Like all the housewives with these giant shopping carts, and you take your life in your hands. They'll kill you. They'll kill you, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go to the store at a certain hours, man. Some of them older ladies, man, they're rough.
Yeah. Yeah. If by old you mean 30, yeah, because some of them are young.
So Ray, I heard that your radio show is leaning towards syndication here. It's starting to get some traffic. Is that right?
Well, kind of, yeah. I was telling the guys earlier, we did a national show, just started this past Sunday morning. It's syndicated through about 20 stations across the country. Small market stuff. You know, when you come in small, you start small and you grow. So we did take that step because it's pay to play. So we have to buy the airtime. And then the idea is you sell sponsorship, you sell advertising, and that's how you get your money back. So we're taking baby steps, and it's a leap of faith. It's we believe in ourselves, we believe what we do, and we hope it'll go somewhere.
Right. Put your information in the chat room so everybody can if they want to check it out, they can hit a link.
Yeah, let's see. Bing. That's us.
There it is.
Yep, there we are.
All right. If anybody wants to check it out, just hit the link and next week tell us what you think about it.
And Ray, how did you get into radio? Like, what was the start?
I've always been a fan of it. You know, if you grow up in
radio.
What's that, Lou?
I said, look at you. You got a face for radio.
You're right. That's how we do it. Now, I think if you grow up in New York, and I grew up through the 60s and 70s, radio was everywhere. And if you didn't, it was like American Graffiti. There was just radio everywhere, and we had really good radio up here. So I was a kind of a student of it. Never did it professionally, but fast forward to Motormouth Radio, I used to listen to the show. It was only on for its first 2 years. And I would listen to that, and I would listen to Car Talk out of Massachusetts, the Magliazzi brothers, Tom and Ray, Click and Clack. And what I would do is sit there and judge myself on how fast I could answer the questions callers, if I could answer them before the hosts did. And after a while, I said, I can do this. I can do this. So I did a local car show on Father's Day. We were the only show in town. And one of the hosts was leaving Motormouth Radio. Chris wanted to do a remote from a car show for this co-host. Our show was the one, so they had us come in to talk about it. And then at the end of the show, I kind of heard him do this with other guests. So I asked him, listen, you want me to come back and give you a recap of the car show? And he said, yeah, next week we have a guest, but make it the week after. So I came back in, and then him and the other co-host, there were 3 guys at the time. They said, listen, you did great. If you want to come back, we have an empty seat. Whenever you want to come in, there's an empty chair. And I said, dude, I'll be here every week, And then I was. And then they made me that's 12 years ago for me, Yeah. And then I didn't know anything about radio. Chris is the he's the actual trained guy. He's worked in radio. He's gotten paid to do radio. And I just watched him. I studied him, and I listened to you know what I did? I started to listen to myself. I listened to my tapes and how bad I was and all the things I did that sucked, like, all the shit you shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just slowly, and I'm still doing it to this day. I just always listen back and say, okay, don't do that. Say that a better way. You know, I learned to talk slower because, you know, up here, Lou, you know, we talk fast. And if I didn't understand what I was saying, I know it was like I was on speed, you know, and that's it. You know, I've just been doing it like that. We have a great relationship for 12 years. We just started the 14th year of the show just this past Sunday.
Sweet.
And we don't get paid to do it. So, you know, we love it, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're getting a chance to talk about automotive, man. And everybody can relate to it. So, you know, we're on here doing the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Our audience are guys who work on cars. Some of the guys are in shops. Most of the guys are shade tree. They're backyard builders, or they're just, you know, they used to call up to ask us how to fix their car. And now as cars got more complex, nobody can fix their freaking cars anymore because, you know, you can't. But now we got to be friendly with this guy. I mentioned him once before, Obidon Canoli, our friend Joe D from Standard Motors. We just made him a third host last Sunday. He's now the third host of Motormouth Radio because he does all the new stuff, all the scanners, and, you know, the hardcore stuff. So, but he's also an old school guy. He's a backyard. He started as a backyard builder. So, you know, and he's a bass player. So the drummer found himself another musician, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm going to jump out for a minute. If anybody in the chat room wants to jump in and ask any questions or tell us any stories about, you know, some hot cars or raggedy cars, don't matter. So jump in.
Yeah.
Hey, Lou, is that picture you professionally done? The one with your arms crossed?
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That was for a guy named Mill Cannon did it. And he was putting together a show. Oh God, I don't remember the name of it. He was putting together the show, and he shot the sizzle reel and all that. And he had everything ready to go, and then for whatever reason, I don't know why it didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
I don't know the details, but that's what that picture's from. There's very few pictures of me because I just don't have it. You know what? I really need to get some done, or at least get more of me that way.
I got to tell you, I've told a lot of people, told people I'm coming and visiting you here and dropping your name, and they're like, who? And I clipped a picture of you off the internet. It's a picture of you from the TV show, and you're standing in front of I think it's a lime green torque converter.
Oh yeah.
And I made that your face on my phone, on your number. And people like, oh yeah, I know that guy. I'm like, no, you think you know him. You probably ran into him like on Oak Street somewhere, but
Lou, do you have any stories that stick out to you, like where a fan caught you out in public and like recognized you?
Yeah, I actually do. It was pretty funny. There was a cruising at home, and Spencer, North Carolina, like 10 minutes from me. This was an older gentleman, and I was there at the cruising, so I'm hanging out, and it was pretty funny. He had to be mid-60s, and he shakes my hand, and next thing I know, he starts crying. He's so wound up, he starts.
What? Wow!
Because he wasn't expecting it. It just caught him so off guard. He couldn't talk, and he was like, it was just like sensory overload.
Brought a grown man to tears.
I'm like, dude, relax. It's okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's cool.
And that just goes to show you that people, they like fall in love with this perception of people. And I'm not trying to take any away from you, Lou, because you're a great guy. You know what you're talking about, and you're very entertaining. But at the same time, you're a very sociable guy, and people can talk with you, and they can spend time with you, and it's not weird. You don't have this super ego.
Right.
But people may have this perceptions about people, TV personalities and celebrities that
Right.
makes them a little bit hesitant and brings them to that point where they're kind of starstruck. So
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's like you said, one is perception, and two, I just think that some people just don't. They just don't think they would ever meet anybody like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's kind of weird. Because I've talked to people, and like I was talking to somebody one time, and Chip Foose comes walking up to me, and he stops. He says hi to me. We shake hands. This was the guy who's with me was a fan of mine, so I just introduce him to Chip because I'm not rude like that. I tell the guy, I'm like, hey, Chip, this is so and so, and the guy's just like, you know what I mean? He just sensory overload.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that, I always find amusing. I always find it amusing. So, and then we were at it was the last time I went to Mopar's at the Strip, which like 5 years ago now. My friend Wayne, who I grew up with, Wayne went with me. He flew out of Delaware. He was the guy I used to street race with in New York. So Wayne goes out to Vegas, and we're hanging out in the morning of the Sunday morning of the show, and we're hanging out, and Chip sits down with us, and me, Wayne, and Chip talked for like an hour, having conversation about cars and everything else. And when Chip left and went and did something, we were getting ready to go to the show because all of us were going. Wayne's like, dude, how cool! How cool is it to sit here and have a conversation with Chip Foose?
yeah, for sure.
The guy's not going to get that,
Yeah.
I'm not starstruck. I never have been, but it's just one of those things, I mean, people just get starstruck, I don't know. I really don't have an explanation for it, but it's cool.
Well, have you ever met anyone that you saw on TV or radio that you kind of, I wouldn't say idolized, but that kind of threw you back when you met them? I think Lou went to sleep.
He's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, it says TR Man Ater he said he's starstruck. LOL.
Terminator.
Yeah.
That's Terminator. Yeah, I could tell you this, Louis. One early on, I was at a local cruise night. Everything happens at cruise nights. And I had my Motormouth Radio t-shirt on, had my buddy with me. We walk in, and there was a man standing there, a big guy with a daughter. She was maybe about 8 years old, and they had a little Yorkie. So I have a Yorkie at home, so I bend down, I'm petting the dog and saying, hey, this is a cute dog. What's your dog's name? And she's talking to me, hanging on to her dad's hand. And I figured, all right, this dude's big. I better, move on. So I told her, okay, well, I'll see you later. Down the aisle, about a half hour later, there they are again. He's standing there talking to somebody, and she's standing there with the dog. So I bend down, I'm petting the dog again, saying hello. He turns around and looks down at me with this big head, and he points his finger at me, his big finger, and says, hey, he's looking at my shirt. He says, hey, you know those guys on that show? And I looked at him, I said, I'm one of those guys. And he said, which one are you? He said, are you the guy with the Fiat or the guy with the Corvette? So now I know this guy listens to the show because those are two of the cars. My co-host had a Corvette at the time, and I was talking all about my Fiat. And I said, I'm the guy with the Fiat. And with that, I'm standing up slow because I don't know what this guy's thinking. And he says, you know what? I love your show. I'm such a big fan. And I was like, oh, thank God.
That's great. Yeah.
He became a very close friend to this day. But it was scary.
Awesome.
You don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't know who you affect. You don't know what effect that you have on people.
And you hope it's positive.
All right, I'm back.
Hey, Lou.
What happened?
My daughter called me that time.
Gotta take that call.
No, because she's with her friends, and the C-clip came out of the axle on the Jeep, on her friend's Jeep, and the axle came out. So they don't know what to do. And I'm like, Lily, you got AAA, just use it, just call. You got to take it somewhere, just get it out of where it's at. And then she's like, well, I'm like, you tell him it's yours. Just tell him it's your car.
But Dad, you fix these things. Can't you help me?
I ain't fixing it. It ain't mine.
Well, a week and a half ago, I think I told you, I'm leaving the house. My older daughter says to me, hey, Dad, yeah, by the way, I got another flat tire. She'll drive with the tire blown on the Southern State Parkway. She'll drive with the sidewall eviscerated. And there I am, like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to fix another tire, you know?
I don't know why people are struggling to get in. I see Doc here. He's trying to get into the Blab, and we had someone else before, and I don't know what the case is. You guys didn't have any issues getting on, right?
No, I got right in.
We didn't have to hit any special buttons or anything, right?
I got right on, and I'm on my phone, and I don't even know. I don't even know how I got there.
That's funny. Well, hey guys, I gotta hop off. My phone's at 20%, and my buddy and I, this is our last hope of communication. So if this goes down, we're gonna go down.
You don't have the shark phone standing by?
Yeah, exactly. We don't have that. So I'm gonna hop off, but I'll be in touch with you guys soon. Hope you have a great night.
Later.
So long. Wow. So Lou, back to your school thing. Did you have to set up a curriculum yet, or did they ask you for that, or no?
They haven't asked me yet, but there is a curriculum, so I'm just going to use that one and I'll tweak it.
Yeah, good.
That's what I'll do, and then that way I ain't going to worry about it.
Right. No, that's the way to do it. You start with something that's known, and then tailor it to you. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That's good.
So that's what I'm going to do. Doc, there you are.
What up, Lou?
I read that newspaper article, Doc.
Did you get a chance to look at the video?
No, I did not, but I read the article.
Yeah, the video is pretty insane. I mean, it shows the marshals coming in, unlocking the building, the whole deal, checking the VIN. The guy gets his car, no motor, no interior, in one car. The other car is missing the complete front end and a quarter panel.
What?
It's a mess. There's I think like 70 people that are named in a major lawsuit going on right now, and I really wish people would go look at this, because I don't want to be the bad guy on somebody else's program talking smack about another shop.
What's the backstory to that, Doc? What are you guys talking about?
Let me give it a quick rundown. There's a shop in Palmetto, Florida. The guy flew into town 5, 6, 7 years ago, opened it up with some money from somebody, did a beautiful shop, state of the art kind of looking thing. You walk in and it had all the right bells and whistles, but it didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? You talk to the guy, and there was just some things that just didn't jive. And he did a couple of shows. We went to some of his events, things of that nature. And a lot of people were going to him because he said he knew certain people in the industry. And again, if you go to his Facebook page and you look at some of the pictures, Lou, you've been to enough SEMAs, you can stand behind just about anybody and do a selfie, and it looks like you're their buddy. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it looks like. So he had the shop for a couple of years, went through about a dozen different painters, body guys, frame guys, this, that, and everything else. Tried to do a big splash, hoorah, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. You got to give me all your money, send me your cars, whatever. Well, then he literally in the middle of the night shut the whole thing down. Now, one of the vehicles that happens to be in there is one of the Hillstrands 55 Chevy shoebox that was being built, which the Hillstrand from the Deadliest Catch. He's a resident here in the summertime here in Sarasota, so we all kind of know him. He unfortunately has been caught up in this whole situation. He shut the shop down in the middle of the night, took all the money, skipped to Miami, and opened up another shop under his name. The shop was originally opened up in his girlfriend/wife's name. Now, some of the things that he did that were really bogus was, and I talked to the painter and got this firsthand, he had a 55-gallon drum with no bottom in it. And he made the painter, hey, I'm good for the environment. Go dump it in my 55-gallon drum, and it'll be picked up once a month, twice a month, whatever the case may be. Well, after a month or so, and the painter realized that it wasn't filling up, he tipped the thing over and realized the bottom had been cut out. So the EPA is involved. The tax people, IRS is involved. The local PD is involved, and the feds are involved because he was holding cars hostage, things of this nature. He was selling vehicles without proper title and paperwork and things. It's a mess. It is so bad for so many people. And I didn't mean to take up the show last week, and I know we went way over. Poor Lou almost turned into a pumpkin. He bailed at 2 minutes to 12. 3 minutes to 12.
I'm at 3
but
hours.
from what I can tell, I think it was a pretty good show from everything I read. I mean, people really got off on it. So I didn't want to jump back on and beat the dead horse again. But, I just want people to be educated when they take their vehicle, wherever it may be. There are a lot of great two-man operations in this country that do some phenomenal work that people don't have a clue who they are. They're in this warehouse in this back district area doing some phenomenal work.
Yeah.
And like I said before, take pictures, talk to previous customers, talk to their employees. And if people have a problem with you, not on their time, maybe get them off when they get off work. Say, hey, listen, well, you guys did this and this. How did you do it? Just pick their brain. You don't have to go into detail with them. But if you go, hey, we sent it here and it got this done, and then we sent it there and we got that done, and we sent it out there, well, that means it's a job shop. Yep. It's really not being done in-house. And we all don't do it all in-house. I don't do body work. I got a great body guy. I don't do upholstery unless it's real basic stuff. Other than that, we try and do everything else in-house. We like doing it. And I really wanted to get the compound, and I don't know if it'll reach. I'm in a very, very small shop, same as Lou. I have a bad problem with saying no because it hurts me to see people that are building projects that they have so much pride in, and people have taken so much money from them that they have nothing left. So a lot of times I get it in the end, on the short end, but that's okay as long as I pay the bills and my wife's happy. Then everything's okay. But I am in a seriously small shop that I run out of. Now I've got access to some really killer equipment: water jet, plasma, laser, CNC machines, things of that nature. In our area, I've got great people that help me out doing some really out of the box kind of work. And I'm not sending the work out per se, but I'm having somebody cut some parts, and then we do the work in house as much as possible. But I'm happy to help you guys and generate this thing to the next level wherever it may be.
Appreciate it. We just need people to know that we're here. We're a new platform here on Blab, and we're just trying to take over the automotive section of it. Or we are the automotive section of it.
We are the automotive section, yeah.
Yeah, when I looked it up, I was looking at everybody else's shows, and I was trying to figure out whose show was doing what. And I was like, there's a couple of cooking shows. I think there's a show on woodworking or something there, and which is way cool. Like I said, I got involved in some other stuff. We do Lou, I think Greg Kilma from KGKI Radio, Racing Radio. Yeah. He's right down around the corner from me. When he first started his gig in 2000, I think it was, I was one of the co-hosts on that deal as well.
Cool.
So,
I'm going to give you to Jared Doc. He's going to need He's going to need a welding machine.
Your liquid cooler's ready to be shipped, by the way.
I got to get you some money.
You got to tell me what ends.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is tell me the ends. The torch is sitting there. It's all rigged. It's ready to go.
Nice.
It's a Miller torch.
Yeah.
I'll
but is it
for you?
Okay. All right.
For you, but it's a Miller torch. I picked up a torch. I just gotta. Yeah, I'll get the money for the cooler. I gotta wait till when I get paid for the show, then I can cash from Monet.
Yeah, checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
See some cash.
Hey, Doc, if you want to put your information in the chat room, your shop or your website or anything like that, feel free. And
Okay.
if everybody in the chat room can tweet a little bird, let people know that we're on right now. Spitting live.
So we were talking welding last week, Lou.
Yep.
You want to get back into that a little bit?
Well, we can if you want to. Doesn't matter to me one bit.
Well, hey, listen, I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. It's y'all's show.
It doesn't matter to me one bit. We can talk about whatever. What I would like to see is some of the people in the chat room start asking some questions. Because
Absolutely.
really, we're here for them. You know what I mean? We can talk
Absolutely.
about anything, but we're here for the people to ask questions. And some guys do, some guys don't. But it would be much better if people would start asking questions.
Well,
Yeah. So what we got going on?
Sometimes they're scared, and that's why I try to throw some stuff out there. One of the conversations you had earlier was wiring. That's something I actually like to do. Is I like wiring. I like it just comes real natural to me. A lot of guys hate it, and I think the biggest problem is they look at this big pile of rat nest wiring and they're lost. They lose confidence before they even get into it. And like any big project, if you take it one piece at a time, it's really not that complicated. It really isn't, And even if you get into some of the newer stuff, I don't know if you ever got to take a look at that. We did a Cadillac for Nikki Sixx in Kenwood, and we put one of the first North Stars going north-south instead of being a standard front-wheel drive. And we had to get with GM on the deal because at that time there wasn't a platform available for an ECU or a shift system to talk to each other. And at that time, we're talking, I think it was 97, 8, something like that when it first came around. And we had to really reach out to some people that knew some stuff in Detroit. And believe it or not, they were willing to tell us, hey, do this, do that, do that. Take it one step at a time and you'll have no problem. And it went out for a well.
Cool.
Hey, Doc. Somebody asked a question if you are from Sarasota.
Yep.
Yep. He's the doc from Sarasota. That's Raymond.
One of the things I tell people all the time, I get asked electrical questions a lot, and you really need to learn how to manipulate your way around a schematic, even a rudimentary one, because that's it. That's the roadmap to where those wires go. And that scares a lot of people too, because they get pretty complicated.
Yeah, but if you break it down per system, and you look at it, just like you say, it's a roadmap. So let's, if you're looking at number 4 injector and you're looking at the pulse side of the injection system and you're trying to see where it comes out of the ECU and, the color of where it is, well, if you just take a simple piece of paper that works for me, what I'm trying to look for is, let's say, a blue with a green tracer and silver dots, 2 silver dots. Write that on a piece of paper and put it to the side. This way, as you're going through and you get halfway through the schematic, you go, oh, man, what color was that wire? And your piece of paper is right there. Boom, okay, oh, there it is. All right, and you start tracing it out. The other thing that works for me real well is when you get into schematics, if you go to an office supply store, you can buy a invisible marker system that it stays color for a certain amount of time, and then finally it'll fade back away to whatever the previous color was. They're a couple of bucks. Cool. They're made by Sharpie, and you can take it and lay it all out and then trace where you're going with it, and you can see from point A to point B, and in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I don't know what the dry time is on it, it goes away. So now you don't have to worry about it being stuck there. And Sharpie Products makes it. I'm not a sponsor for Sharpie or anything. It just happens to be
what I do is I'll always make a copy of the schematic, and then so I have a working, or maybe 2 or 3 copies, and I have a set of colored pencils, Crayola colored pencils, and I trace out the lands in different colors. Sometimes it's usually the color code of the schematic, but it could be anything that, as long as you know what you're doing, just to follow that wire, that land, and that helps a lot. And like you said, going by subsystems is definitely.
And there's some really simple stuff out there. Lou, I think you guys both are probably familiar with there's a test light that's out there right now that's computer safe. It's got you could pulse power into it, you could pulse ground into it. I think they start right at about $100, which is a little pricey. But if you're going to be doing wiring, the nice thing is if you've got a non-powered system and you want to fire up, let's say, the fuel pump, you can throw power to it. If you want the headlights, you can click the headlights onto it. If you've got a bad circuit, you can feed back through it, and it won't go to the computer. If it does, it pops the breaker on the side of it. And that's your equipment is going to make it easier, and you don't have to buy millions of dollars of big bulky machinery and scopes and everything else. Some base machine, a good VOM voltometer that's preferably a digital because they're a little more sensitive. But if you want to go down to your box store and buy the old sweeper style, that'll get you through most of what you're going to do. You just got to be careful around airbags and some of the new computer systems.
Yeah, the problem with an analog meter is it'll deflect too fast, and you can't do certain things with it where the digital is better. But you need that if you're going to look at anything that has a capacitor, because it'll show you rise time and deflection. But the chat room lit up. Everybody's saying, "Yeah, Power Probe." And that's exactly what you were talking about.
The Power Probe. Yeah, and they
Rubber Freight even sells one now.
They make 3 different levels of it. They got the Power Probe 1, which I think they're like $79. It depends if you get them from Snap-on or whoever. Then they've got the Pro and the Pro XL. The Pro XL's got now the digital readout, which tells you voltage. So you got voltage and you got amperage draw through it, and I think it draws up to 15 amps. Great little piece of equipment, and you can do a ton of stuff with it. You can everything from like I said, fire a fuel pump to test an injector. I mean, it's a great little piece of equipment to have for very little investment.
That's the thing. People have to learn some basic electronics. I had a car years ago. It was a convertible, and fuses were blowing, resetting, and I put an ammeter. You isolate the circuits. I put an ammeter in line and found a 30 amp draw, and I'm saying 30. Is the decimal place off? Maybe is it? It should be 3 amps or 0.03, and it was and I said no, that's 30 amps. And ended up it was a short to ground on one of the rear light. The light socket, the wire would come out. There was no bulb, and it would touch the chassis, and bang, ground. It was short to ground. And but you have to kind of understand what the meter is telling you, before you go forward. So a little bit of basic knowledge is key.
Absolutely.
Hey, what was asking about his Trailblazer? I couldn't reply to him. I had to send out. I had a question. The mirror or the housing? I
think he said it was loose, right?
I don't know. I can't. I don't know how to make it work on my. I can go back.
Let me see. All right. Yeah. Terminator said, I have a 2002 Trailblazer. Driver's side view mirror. Driver's side view mirror is wobbly. Is this a DIY or a dealer?
Mirror itself. Because that
probably the housing.
The housing. You take the door panel, and there'll be three studs. You should be able to tighten up the housing.
Right. Sometimes it's just a little trim piece, a triangular trim piece in the front corner of the window. You pop that out. Of course, you break all the tabs on it.
Of course,
of course.
Yeah, but then you use a little bit of chewing gum, and that's. I tell you, I was just looking at my my chiropractor's new SUV today, and it's got the side view mirrors with the lane, the adaptive lane change, and the directionals. And I told him, do not break one of these mirrors, man. You're gonna cry when you have to replace this.
Ray.
That's bad.
Ray's rocking that hairdo again. Look at that do, guys. Look at that do.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Hey, Lou, at least he's got some hair to do.
Recuperating. I'm
going to show you something. Hang on a second.
Side view mirror. Not the three. It's not the 3 screws. It's a folding mirror, and I think the spring popped out of it. So I'm afraid to take the mirror out because I heard 9 times out of 10 it'll break.
Yeah, there's a ball and socket that the thing floats on, and then depending on your motor drive assembly. And you could get lucky and you could not, depending on where do you live, what part of the country do you live in. Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough. I mean, it'd be real tough. I would check out. I'd check Rock
So
Auto and just put a new one on.
a regular replacement, and that's it. Okay. It's a
Yeah, be
2002.
done. It's a what year again?
Reason.
Yeah, so you're yeah. You
Yeah,
could probably get one, like I say, you probably
yeah.
could pick one up off of Rock Auto. Is it a powered? Yeah, you're probably looking at $90 to $100, but if you try to mess with it otherwise, you're going to be right back to the same situation.
When we go to the States, instead of renting a vehicle, cheaper to leave it one behind and do
Right.
my errands and running around. But Ray, I love your show. Last week, you guys were talking to my buddy there, John Day, from Pathfinder Lubricants. The guy
that
is
was
a savant.
Julo.
He's he was his products. I can back it up because we did a test on it with the Aston Martin, the Hummer, and the 300ZX twin turbo. All of them passed with flying colors, and we did that test with the oil analysis. You could see everything from clear. Like I'm not really into that, but he educated me, and I learned a lot from how your car is breaking down with those oil tests.
Yeah, he certainly does have a wealth of information. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, I never seen. Ray, when you get a chance, see if you can find on the online where he does the bearing test. You know the bearing test that shows you the weight.
Oh yeah, sure.
You are going to freak out. That's how he hooked me in.
Right.
He did he didn't do the show. I don't know if you guys remember the show called Dream Car Garage. Yeah, that's a friend of mine named Peter Kluwer was doing that. And he had a guy there who passed away. I'm trying to remember his name. He was the big guy that Peter kept teasing on. Well, to make a long story short, he did the testing for John with the tests, the oil analysis on the bearing, and it blew my mind. So I hunted this guy down. I said I have a project, and I did it, and I put it on YouTube. Every time we did a modification on the vehicle, on the Aston, we took it to the dyno and then did a test, gone back, put another product in. For instance, we were trying to increase the horsepower on the Aston Martin, and we changed the catalytic converter, we changed the exhaust, we changed the filter, we changed the plugs, we changed the ECUs. We did a lot. We did a ground, we went so far that we didn't touch any internals in the motor, which is the next thing to do if it was going to happen. And we saw an increase using his product, and it's all on YouTube. I mean, nobody. And the reason why I did that was I was getting tired of these TV shows showing these cars with all these dynoing with these high horsepowers, and they're not educating the people that when you put a product on, you're either going to gain horsepower or you're going to lose horsepower. And we were doing it is trying to show the customers, when you add this is what's going to increase. If you add this and this is what's going to happen. So it got costly with the dyno guys. They gave us a good deal because trust me, when you go to the dyno, you do like almost 100, 200 pulls. It gets pretty pricey.
Yeah, I could see gaining horsepower. Yeah, I could see gaining horsepower because of the loss or the lack of friction. But I guess if you lose horsepower, it's got to be because of parasitic drag or internal friction.
What happened was the deal was when we added say for instance, I have 5 YouTube series on this. So if you look it up, Ray Ray's AMS or Ray Ray's DB9S, Aston Martin, whatever you want to put down, you'll find the link, and then you'll see the YouTubes. We did 5 series of them because it was too hard to put everything in short. And when we did the first one we did, I think it was the oil. We changed the oil. That's what we did. And we put the Rikon of John Day's, and we put the oil lubricant. Now, the way we did it is we took a baseline. We had to do that.
Of course.
The baseline of the original oil and everything else that was the first thing we did. And we got a solid number of what the car was pulling. After that, we drained the oil and we added his oil. And when we did that, we also had the fuel, what fuel we were running. So we did the oil change and we took his product. We went back to the dyno. Of course, we had to run the car for a while so the oil could circulate. And then we seen a small increase, not much. It was all on the YouTube. Then we brought it back, and this time we added the product of the fuel, the Rikon that he brags about. Yeah. And we added that, and we the fuel. Now in Canada, there's 94 octane. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Sunoco. Yes, no. Petro Canada has got 94 octane in Canada. So that's I think that's the highest that you can find anywhere else. Anything else is racing fuel or whatnot, and the rest are like 92, 91. I think in the States you can get all sorts of octane, right? Well, wherever they sell them, you can get them. But basically, your common would be 96 or 91. Can anybody hear me?
I can.
I think Doc is moving furniture around down there. That's all right.
Sorry. The highest octane in the States is probably 92 or 91, right?
97.
Oh, wow.
And 87 is the lowest. That's what I put in my daily driver.
Wow. Okay. So we did test it and we saw some increase. When we put the 200 cell cats, we saw another decrease. We saw a decrease in horsepower. Not much. When we added the exhaust, the complete flow, manual belt, blah, 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 we saw an increase. When we did the ECU, we saw an increase. So all the products that you see on the YouTube, we added an extra 100 horsepower. So the car stock was 420 horsepower, and we bumped it up, and it's now 520. And here's the kicker. The next project, bolt-on, is going to be the exhaust manifold. Now, the headers. Now, the headers on the Aston Martin has 4 Cadillac converters. So the car previously had 6 Cadillac converters. We eliminated 2 of them for high flows. And now on the headers, we got to get rid of 4 of them. So now we found a company that deals with Aston Martin that did a custom headers with no cats. And if we eliminate each cat, we estimated 25 horsepower of restriction per Cadillac converter.
You guys gonna have trouble with an inspection with that, with emissions inspection?
No, we don't have that here.
No, okay.
So, yeah, so we're lucky. Hopefully, the magic number we're trying to reach is past 600.
So, what are you going to do with the new headers? What kind of exhaust are you going to run after that?
The same one that it has right now.
Oh,
because it's at the market.
Yeah. Okay. What diameter is that pipe? Is it how large is the pipe?
I think it's close to 2.5 or 3.
Oh, nice. What size is the engine in that car?
It's a V12.
Okay.
It's a 6.0.
All right, so I don't have a lot of experience with them, but I would imagine that it's more of a high revving horsepower on the top end, not a lot of torque type of engine?
As a matter of fact, it's in between.
Okay.
The ECU when Aston Martin makes the cars, they put the computer chip that it runs rich on fuel, which is what I found out by my contacts. So the fuel system is run very lean, and very rich, and so basically the car is very light, so it's sipping on fuel. Comparison, an 8-hour trip on a full tank, and then an 8-hour trip could be from let's say from Toronto to the tip of Michigan, Sault Ste. Marie.
Right.
I can go on a full tank, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But all bets are off when I step on that gas.
Well, yeah. What I was talking about was I just think that, from what I know about that type of an engine, there's a lot of cylinders, but they're small pistons. So,
right.
Kind of by the book, you get a higher RPM and less torque. But man, that high end, I know once you get that thing up in the RPM range, like over $5,000, it just must scream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never driven one. I'd love to. Yeah.
They howl. They good. It's a Grand Touring vehicle. It's really nice and comfortable. It's not meant for drag racing. It's not meant for like a quarter mile ordeal. Right. It's a luxury vehicle, but it does get up and go.
Well, you put twin turbos on that thing or quad turbos.
Well, this is what happened. What happened was we were going to do that, and then it dawned on to us the mapping has to be reprogrammed, and then finding out how much boost is going to be put in, and then now we have to find out what is the tolerance of that motor.
Can you get in there and are you able to remap that stock computer by yourself, or do you have to send it out?
Unfortunately, we have to send it out because Aston Martin does not relinquish that secret. And then you have to have somebody that's really able to hack into that. The same with Lamborghini, Porsches. They're very finicky in having that information out there.
Yeah.
So you have to.
I guess the aftermarket doesn't support any kind of aftermarket ECUs for that car, huh? There's nothing available?
No. Nothing. Basically, you either have to trial and error.
So you're handcuffed. You're handcuffed by the stock mapping, by the fuel map, the ignition map. You really can't change those parameters. So no matter what you do, you have a set of handcuffs on you.
Right.
You put a big stuffed 3 on it and let it eat.
Well, as I said, they got to get you to do quad turbos, Lou.
Well, the problem was, like I said, we were going to go turbos, and we're thinking of going with the product ST, which is the one that goes up to the rear of the exhaust, as opposed
to
yes.
The Corvettes, yeah.
Right. We were thinking about that, but then all of a sudden, we figure, okay, well, let's try a supercharger and see how that works, and we went with Roush. From Jack Roush from Michigan, and he looked at it and he said it couldn't be done because the valley of the V12 was not deep enough as a V8. So even the smallest one wouldn't fit or wouldn't work.
Well, what was he talking about? Was he talking about like a Roots supercharger or
you'd have to build? He's probably one of those little eat and blows because they'd want it to fit under the hood.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking even one of the electric, one of the hyperchargers or something that sits in the front.
Yeah, like a Pro Charger.
A Pro Charger, right? Hypercharger's for a Harley, right? It's for a bike.
Yeah. So they did the research, so that couldn't be done. So the next, like I said, the next project is getting the headers, and once I get the headers, I'll do the video on that, and let's see what happens because I don't want to go beyond the sweet number is 600. Everybody knows that 6 and 5 are the perfect numbers. Anything beyond that, be honest, where are you going to use those horsepower at? You're never going to use it on the street.
Right. Hey, I want to tell a story about Ray and his Aston Martin. I'm following him through Detroit, heading heading to Michigan. I ain't gonna tell you what speeds we were going, but when I tell you that car is so sexy, the way it goes around corners, it never leans. It just when he says luxury, it's all luxury, man. It's a nice car.
What model? What model of Aston Martin is that?
This DB9, but we made it into a DB9S.
James Bond car.
It doesn't exist. So, in order to not get in conflicts with Aston Martin, we changed the whole logo.
Yeah. Okay.
We had to badge it for our safety and for the products that we're going to be selling it. We cannot sell it as Aston Martin products because then that's a lawsuit. So we debadged everything on the wing where it says Aston Martin. It doesn't say Aston Martin. It says DB9S. Billet badges helped us out on that.
They did a great job. You would never.
You have a website, Ray, where that? You have a website where that car can be seen?
Yeah. Just go under. If you go to YouTube and you type in Ray or let's see how I don't even go to YouTube as much as I thought I did. Go into Ray's 300ZX twin turbo. That should bring it up, and you'll see me on there, and then you'll see the Aston and some pictures that or some videos on the road and stuff like that. But that's what we do on our company, AMS. We specialize on luxury vehicles on the high end. But we started with the Nissan years ago. And the clients that had Nissan cars also had luxury vehicles, got tired of the dealer pricing and servicing, and came to us, and we were hesitant. And 10 years later, 15 years later, here we are. So now we're doing the luxury end and the non-luxury on the imports. We don't do domestic vehicles. We don't do domestic whatsoever. Very rarely one comes in. Very rare. The only domestic vehicle we have is the Hummer, the Dodge Dakota, and the Trailblazer. Those are our service company vehicles that we use to pick up products and whatnot. But the import is where it's at. 9 times, and they're reliable. Although the prices are very expensive. Well, wait a minute, Lou. You're still working on that Mercedes, or you're still thinking about it?
I want to build it.
You haven't found one.
I still want to build it.
You haven't found the one you were looking for.
Oh man, I gotta wait till I get my shop done before I do anything, Ray. I'm concentrating on that. I ain't doing anything till I get that shop done.
Okay, then, because I was gonna say
I can't work on nothing because my shop is so overcrowded.
That's okay. I was gonna send you a nice little picture, but that's
Shut up, Ray.
that was another reason why I was on here. I was gonna send you that.
Ray.
Now listen, did you see
Ray.
That's all I ever hear.
Did you see the new?
Don't worry, Ray. When I build it, I'll follow you through Detroit, or better yet, you can follow me.
I'll follow you. As a matter of fact, when you do get it, I'll help you with it. I'll help you with it. I'll be your side little bitch. Did you see the new Corvettes, the C8s?
No, I haven't seen one.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-engine.
I heard they were doing that, but I didn't know if it was true or not.
It's true. It's true.
Wow.
Well, we've only been talking about it since '62.
I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I
heard they were going to do it, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know nothing else.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen, and it looks sexy as shit. Though it looks like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to be happy with the Ferrari guys.
Right.
I'll get over it.
And it's probably going to have better performance. Those new Corvettes are performing well.
Yeah. I'll get over it.
Here comes the bottom line. The price is not going to be the same.
No.
So here we go. On a domestic vehicle, do you really think it's worth paying that 3-digit number?
I don't think it's worth paying that kind of number for any car.
Well,
wait a minute. You're saying any car, but what about these cars that are like
seriously, man, guys? I know what goes into building those high level hot rods. I get it, but I still don't see that kind of money in it. I just don't see it.
Okay, but wait a minute.
I don't. Okay,
why is it then? Let's say the Lamborghini I just seen on TV not too long ago, sold for $1 million. The damn car wasn't worth $1 million back then, but it's worth it now. And this is the Lamborghini, the way that looks like we grew up. The old
Countach?
Yes, that's
the
Countach. The Countach. Sold for $1 million. They go for $1 million night and day if they're in good shape. So it's a good investment. But you're right. The car drives as shit. You can't reverse backwards. You got no.
Yeah. At that point, you're talking about guys. You're talking about guys that have a lot of money and are just buying a car of their youth.
It's a different car. I agree. You're right. But it's the car everybody dreamed of. Even from the Ferrari Testarossa, even from the Magnum PI, all those cars. They're there.
Yeah, but the 308 GTB that wasn't a really fast car.
No, it wasn't. But it was.
I want a DB5.
But that was the car. Back then, it was. At that time,
yeah. Well, when everybody wore pastel colors and thought they were Don Johnson, yeah.
That's coming back, believe it or not.
Yeah. No, please.
They got Lou's Closet. Santiago got a low shit of plastic colors there.
That'll be his school clothes.
Yeah.
The problem with the Corvette is in the 80s and 90s they made such bad Corvettes that they'll never have the status that they need to compete with the Lamborghini Ferrari.
Lou, those Corvettes are starting to become more desirable because the other ones are out of reach.
They are. They slowly are. I just had this conversation with the guy the other day.
They're coming up in price.
Yeah, those C3s. Yeah, and they are because guys, like you said, you can't buy a C2. Everything else around it is in the stratosphere. And they make, if you're going to take it, like a C4, my co-host Chris had a C4. And I said, the perfect use for that car is to cut it up and use the suspension in a street rod. And then throw the rest in the fireplace. And
see, here's the thing. There have been so many guys that have done that. Now there's not many of them.
Right.
And like you said, the older ones can't be touched. The new ones can't be touched. And if you want a vet, what do? You buy what if you don't have a lot of money, you buy what you can afford. There it is.
Yeah.
We have a guy up here who has a 74. It's white. The car is a killer. I mean, he just kept modding it, and every time he broke something, he made it stronger. His half shafts have to be about, I think they're 4-inch diameter half shafts in this car. And now he's building a 427 was the biggest small block that I knew of until a short while ago. He built, I think it's a 440 something cubic inch small block.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And this thing, and he's put nitrous, 2 kits of nitrous on it on top of that.
Oh.
But this car is a serious street car, and it looks fairly original, so it's kind of sleeperish. It's a cool vibe.
Yeah. Well, look, you slackers. I'm getting out of here. I got to get ready for tomorrow.
I'm sorry to see you guys last time. A happy late New Year and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Happy New Year's. I will talk to you guys. I'm sure someone later in the week, but if not, next week on Blab. Lou Santiago, I'm outie.
Later.
All right.
Man. Ray, I'm gonna have to hit up one of your shows there. What time is it in the afternoon again?
We do the show 12 noon. If you go to motormouthradio.com, you can listen to it. You'd have to listen to it through the website, obviously, because you're in Canada.
Right.
And on the download page, we have, I think, 2 years of past shows. So you can just pick one, and you can find a show that Lou was on. I think it was back in October, and see what we do. It's basically, like this. It's an interview show. We have guests on to talk about, like we have, like I said before, we have Dennis Pitzenbarger from Highway to Sell. He's on tomorrow. We'll give him a spot here about if he's got a filming schedule like Lou does.
Right.
And we just like to kind of touch all bases of the automotive hobby. We go with motorcycles, and we've had boat guys. You name it. It's all fair game.
Nice. I have to check it out. So,
in fact, I'd love to have you call in, talk about these, the Aston. That's something that we don't hear on our show.
Yeah, sure. But we also have the Lamborghini and stuff on our fleet.
Yeah.
But we'll touch base more on that. And then
you'll see some hot stuff on YouTube of their cars.
Yeah, I'm gonna look. I mean, the most exotic we get is I have a Fiat Spider, and my co-host has a Triumph TR6. So that's our foreign car involvement. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Ray. You were talking earlier about your car there and having to send out the ECU. Have you got a hold of the guys over here at Hafner Performance? Because they do a lot of that stuff. They have the programming breakout for all the brand new Lamborghinis. I know they just did an Aston, and I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I know they've done some stuff with it. I don't know if you know the guys down here at Hafner Performance. They got the world's fastest R8, all that kind of stuff. But they do some pretty amazing stuff.
I heard of the guys. They got a good record on their stable, especially that R8. There's also another company that in your neck of the woods, RSC Tuning. They're in Florida also. There's a whole Doc. There's a whole bunch of them, and you can probably vouch. I can vouch for the guys for the R8, but everybody else is basically boiled back down to your conversation you had before.
Right. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I've had the opportunity. Hafner is a closed business, although they average, $15-20 million type cars in there at any given point in time. You can eat off the floor. The counters are all stainless steel. I mean, it looks like a doctor's office, and you can't even get in a place. There's no sign. There's no regular front door. You have to buzz. You go into a little office, then you go into a second office, and they watch you. When you pull into the fence, there's 3 different fences before you even get to the garage gate. I mean, but the place is amazing. They do phenomenal work. I've had the opportunity to do a couple little things with them. They are so far above what I do. It's beyond me. But they do some phenomenal work. I know they do some cars down there that you really need to call them and probably talk to them about, because I think it's right up your alley.
Yeah. We'll be, and this is just perfect for networking, because usually, like I said, we have products that we can also send them to test and all that, and they may have a product to send to us. And we've been doing that for the past 7 years now. And they contacts with people from China, from Dubai, right straight over to on the States. And we've been getting even in London. We have people sending us products to test it out and see how it works. And I'm
gonna jump in real quick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I'm gonna stop recording. I want everybody to say their company name and email, or however you want to be contacted, and then we can keep on blabbing. But I want to go ahead and shut the show down.
Okay.
All right. We'd like to thank everybody in the chat room. We are not leaving. We're just going to log off recording. So I'm Lewis from All Ends Magazine, and this is Playing in Traffic. And go ahead, Ray.
Ray Carabello. Oh, I'm sorry, Ray. Go ahead.
No, go on. You started. Finish.
Ray Carabello from AMS Motorsports, and also sister company to Millionaire Racing.
I'm Ray Guarino, co-host of Motormouth Radio, motormouthradio.com, and check us on the web.
I'm Doc Kufeld with DF2TS Customs. You can get me on Go Fast Rock and Doc at yahoo.com.
We really appreciate everybody coming in tonight.
Sarasota.
We do this every Wednesday at 9 Eastern, Playing in Traffic. Thank you.
Dan Lee.